top 5 benefits to a 16-team playoff. Since it was thrown out there today that 16 could be the number, which I never thought we'd see, considering that, we had to kick and scratch and claw and beg, borrow, and steal to get to 4.
It's just a sign of why it's kind of foolish to freak out too much over one thing, especially one thing that's just a rumor, or even if it's a little bit confirmed. Because did any of us really believe it's always going to stay at 4?
No.
Because everything revolves around money. And so as much as I don't know, man, we might stay at 6. You mean to tell me, you money-hungry fools, that you're really not all that sure about expanding the playoff that would bring in hundreds of millions of more to, you just want to stay, 4. Yeah. 4 is good. All right.
What they're trying to do is expand it and not share the money with some of the other people.
Exactly, dude. It's all posturing and politics. That's like 99% of this stuff is politics.
All right. Number 5, most fans will love it. Now, I'm sure there's some people that won't like it, but most fans would love it because, again, you've got a much better chance of getting in the thing, even if you're the terrible matchup of the 16, and probably wouldn't be a 1, but, that 16 seed, at least you're in it. It beats the Outback Bowl.
Yeah, I maintain that, it's almost impossible for Washington State or Baylor or just name any number of schools that aren't quite on that top level, or even the ones that are maybe knocking on that door that haven't broken through, that aren't, invited to the country club. Well, it's impossible to do if you never get an opportunity to prove yourself. And I know you get to prove yourself throughout the regular season, but I think being able to say, hey, we're in the playoff, we're going up against Wisconsin in round 1, and we've got a chance to play the winner of Florida State and Michigan in round 2. And who the hell knows? Maybe we win that, and then we go play Ohio. Like, what do you think that does for a program?
Yeah.
Now, maybe Cincinnati or Baylor or whoever loses in the first round of these teams, but at least they got the freaking chance to be a part of it, to be a part of the party and get their fans excited and all of that. And that's how you can build programs. And why would you want to be like? Why would you not be thinking of the future and wanting, like, hey, maybe it's imperative for us as an industry to build up some more programs outside of the same 25 that we talk about constantly.
Yeah, and you're everything's cyclical. One day Nick Saban will leave Alabama and they'll fall into mediocrity for a little bit, and people will wonder, and then they'll go through a couple coaches because it happens to literally everyone. Except for maybe Ohio State. They've had the shortest periods of mediocrity in anyone's tenure, but everyone else happened to Notre Dame. Name a school that's great. It's happened to them. Michigan's just maybe not coming out of it. Number 4 makes recruiting, because of what Craig just said, it makes recruiting more interesting. Look, if you can say you're going to have a chance to be in the playoff, then there might be some guys that you can nab away from the big dogs, because that is something, especially now if, say you play a classic game and lose in the last couple of seconds, and you've got a wide receiver that really likes your program, and he knows if he had come there, he could be the thing that got you over that hump. You can legitimately tell him that now. As to right now, most of the time you're kind of, Clark Lee can stand up and say, we intend Vanderbilt to be the best program in the country. Great, Clark. That's great to have lofty goals, but nobody's going to hold our breath until you get there. And it's not Clark Lee's fault.
I love the point about why would you not want to make the sport of which you run or why would you not want to make everyone else around you better or give them a chance to be better or fresh? Because some schools don't want that.
Yeah, or just some people in power don't. It's bizarre to me. It's like when I hear, like, we can't expand the playoff, we might have blowouts in the first round. It's like, you're arguing for less football? Like, what?
But you're already having blowouts in the first round.
But these are also the people who, like, when football season's over, it's like, I got 6 months until I'm like, well, then.
Like Cincinnati, for example, they definitely saw a boost in recruiting based off of last year. I think, you win and recruits become interested in you, or you make a big shift like going to the Big 12, and all of a sudden BYU and UCF and Cincinnati and Houston are going to see some spikes as a result of that. So
You know what I think BYU's extra scary is? Look, there's a lot of really good Mormon kid football players, right? Kids that want to go to BYU, but maybe they don't go to BYU because they were outside the college football playoff, and so they take their journey somewhere else. Well, now, if they want to go to the Mormon school and go to the college football playoff, they can do that now. So, and I'm not just talking about just Mormons, but if you're going to BYU, it's a good chance that you're part of that faith.
I mean, and let's be real about this. Like, promoting or helping others raise their profiles is not going to bring down the ones that are already in the club. Like, you can't get kicked out of that club, basically. I mean, we've seen every scenario basically under the sun, and it's still the same 25 or so that it's been. Maybe Clemson's got an invite here recently. They got confirmed.
They just got they woke up.
Does telling people, and I know this is probably not the best example, but does telling people that Dr. Pepper's a good soda pop hurt Coca-Cola?
No.
So my point being, it's still going to be Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Texas at number 1 in these recruiting rankings. But what's so wrong with, like, every once in a while, like, Iowa State's at 15 and has just a damn good class, and maybe that propels them into something. But I don't know. Some people are anti that for some reason.
Number 3, look, can keep the Big Ten and the SEC at 3 teams each and happy, because most of the time in a 16-team playoff, I would say that 6 of those teams, maybe even 8, will be from those 2 leagues.
It won't be 6. It will absolutely be more than 6.
Well, yeah, but I'm just I'm bare minimum.
Yeah.
On the worst possible year for either conference.
Yeah.
They're still probably getting 3 teams.
Yeah, I mean, last year, you probably would have had Ohio State, Michigan State.
Yeah.
And then, the SEC.
Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss.
Yeah.
How about this, along with what Wayne Gerbach on the chat room, he brought up, do you think that maybe Warren moving it to 16 is some sort of give and take with Sankey? I could see Sankey going along with automatic qualifiers if the number is larger in the college football playoff.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, that's a good point.
Thank you, Wayne. Appreciate the chat.
So, I mean, it's all going to be a negotiation. Number 2, more teams should equal more value. Now, I won't say will equal more value, because there could be some economists that say, well, if you put more teams in it, then it's okay. But you would think, if I'm a television network and I'm bidding on something that could be 4 as opposed to something that would be 16, the 16 would be more, because it's more games I can put on. It's
4 times more.
It's more advertising I can sell. It's more content. It's more. That's what they're about, right?
You really think one network can handle 16 teams?
No, it's going to have to be
the Big Ten's going to be like on 3 or 4 different networks.
It's going to have to be like the NFL that has different things.
But that's the scary part, is if you're those other conferences, is how much room is left over.
Yeah.
But then if live sports is such a boon, which is the one thing that everybody agrees on, but yet somehow more games is bad, that still makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. I don't get that at all. But you would think that, hey, if live sports are such a great thing and college football is as popular as it is, I don't know why more teams more games and more great matchups, and you think more money.
Why are all pro sports leagues adding more wild card teams?
That's the thing, is the college football fan or media person or commissioner is sitting here arguing for less options. The NFL, the biggest league in America, by far in a way, and probably in my lifetime will never not be that, is adding just spare teams to the playoffs. You spares play because we don't even care, because it's just more games and more money. Reconcile that with me. How the NFL's doing one thing and college football figures are trying to argue the opposite of what the NFL is doing is good for the money part of it. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Unless you're arguing on an individual basis, then yes, it might be good for the Big Ten, or it might be good for the SEC, and we don't care about college football, but that makes absolutely no sense. And I need somebody to explain that for me.
Yeah. I can't.
Yeah, I can't either. All right, and number 1, again, following up, inclusion is better for college football. I think the model that college football needs is the high-end Vegas buffet. Don't send me to a restaurant that has 3 things on the menu. I'm here to enjoy myself. I want to go to have shrimp for breakfast, man. That's what I want.
Have you ever had shrimp? Better. You get tied up by 10 o'clock.
Well, I'm just saying that they're going against it, where they're trying to eliminate things that could make them more money.
Some are now wanting Craig to run for college football commissioner.
You know what? Let's go. Let's party. I got a lot of ideas. You guys can help me out with that. Yeah. I'll definitely source opinions and feedback. But
you'll actually listen.
I would actually listen. Yeah. I won't BS you and become all arrogant like a lot of these guys do when they're in that position for a lengthy amount of time, and go sit there and act all smug like all due respect, Bill Hancock gave us his time and that was great, but there was some smugness there that I just can't relate to. And I just, that NFL thing in particular, that's what drives me insane, is that this is a league that absolutely dominates. And if you haven't heard Tim Brando rant about how the NFL has just picked at college football and picked at college football and picked at college football and taken all these opportunities that college football was just too big-headed to realize or care about at the time, NFL said, we'll take that. Thank you. Oh, yeah, we'll take Saturdays. That'll be great for us. Yeah, absolutely. And their brand just gets bigger and bigger, and they grow, and they're like, let's add playoff teams. The playoffs are already great. We already have a bunch of teams that make it, but let's add more. And college football is saying, let's do all of the opposite of what the NFL is doing to be immensely successful.
The stupid thing is that it's not like the NFL shoved college football off of Saturdays. College football just walked out of the room on its own accord, and the NFL's like, are you guys really going to – are you really going to not put games on that day? Okay.
From Jason,